Cuomo in big trouble. We have yet another accuser who's come forward just a few hours ago. Her name is Alyssa McGrath, Cuomo's current aide. She currently works for him, and now officially we have her as the 8th accuser. She is 33 years old. The New York Times has a story. Let's see here. The quote is, Mr. Cuomo would ogle her body, remark on her looks, and make suggestive comments to her and another executive aide. All right, that is the latest to come forward. We have John Ziegler now, who's going to talk to us about another governor who's in a bit of trouble, Gavin Newsom. John lives in California, but he's well-versed on both issues. First of all, John, welcome back to Newsmax. How are you?
I'm doing well. Always good to talk to you, Greg.
Governor Cuomo, just your sense, and we're kind of taking this in together. 8 women now have come forward with allegations, vary in severity, looking at somebody, remarking on her looks, no touching or anything involved. How do you think things look for Governor Cuomo right now?
Not good. This is a situation where the blood is in the water, and very much like what happened to Al Franken a couple of years ago, it appears as if the media is not going to stop until they get him. He's refused to resign. In my view, as someone who is a conservative who loathes him, he should have resigned over his handling of the COVID crisis and the fact that he had a nursing home scandal, and his state has the second worst per capita death rate in the entire country despite enormous lockdowns. This has a little bit of a feel of going after Al Capone for tax evasion. But if history is any guide, he's pretty much toast. The New York Times has decided that's it for him, and we're just going to keep doing this until he's finally done.
So let's go to one of the other big states in America, California. Your state, Gavin Newsom, is in a heap of trouble himself. Different circumstances, of course. The recall is real. Tell us what happened a year ago. Why is this such a significant week?
Well, today, Greg, is the anniversary of a day that I will never forget, and most Americans should never forget, no matter how hard the news media tries to let them forget. This was the day last year when Gavin Newsom became the first governor in the United States of America to completely shut down his state. And let's be very clear how significant that was. That created a domino effect that caused every other Democratic governor in the country to have to do so. And once every Democratic governor had to do so, we Republican governors also had to follow. And then those governors that were left had very little, if any, political cover, especially in the middle of a crisis, a panic, and the media hysteria that ensued. This, in my view, changed America fundamentally. And I wrote immediately after he did this how utterly absurd and wrong the projections under which he declared his emergency actually were. People don't remember this because the media won't tell them. A year ago today, Gavin Newsom claimed that he was shutting down the state based upon a projection that over 25 million Californians, 25 million plus Californians, 8 weeks. Now, my 8-year-old daughter, who hasn't been in school for a year, real school for a year, could tell you that that math simply never worked. It made absolutely no sense. I wrote about that for Mediaite, and it was catastrophically wrong. 8 weeks later, we had less than 100,000 cases. A year later, we have a little over 3 million cases. Now, no one's downplaying the significance of that, but the basis for the emergency and the shutdown was a catastrophic, bald-faced, obvious lie, and a year later, Gavin Newsom is still a king in California. This lie allowed him to become a king, and he's never relinquished those powers, and the media has done an incredibly lousy job of holding him accountable.
Well, you've done a great job. Some of your stuff has been fantastic. You can check it out on Mediaite. Look, you say he's the king, but this king is in jeopardy, right? Dethroned. You got the 2 million signatures. This recall thing is going forward. I only got a few seconds left, 30. What's happening with that? Where are we?
The recall will be on the ballot later this year. Governor Newsom is still favored to keep his job. Makes him very vulnerable because he has to pass a yes or no. It's not versus a Republican candidate. And then if it's a no, or a no on Newsom and a yes on the recall, he can't be the person chosen to replace him. So there's a chance Gavin Newsom will no longer be king by the end of the year. But I'm just hoping his king-like powers will be curtailed by the threat of this recall.
John Ziegler, senior columnist at Mediaite. We appreciate it so much. Many, many thanks.
Thanks, Greg.
All right, to be continued, and we'll be right back.